Welcome to Truth and Transcendence. All our other episodes are on truthandtranscendence.com. I'm often asked, why Truth and Transcendence? Why that name for the show? And actually, the name came from one of those sort of self-discovery exercises that I found on a free podcast. And it was one of those things where you want to come up with a name for something. You go through a whole process with writing lists of words and which words do you like best. And you end up with 2 words. And I ended up with truth and transcendence. And I went, oh, I like that. But what does it actually mean? And then I realized it was really relevant, actually, to a lot of my experience working with myself and with clients. And that experience is that before transcendence, and by the way, I mean, including in transcendence, any kind of positive, transformational, beneficial shift, before transcendence, there always seems to be truth, some telling of truth in some way and in some respect. So when people used to come to me for coaching, we used to start by doing a deep dive into what was true for them now. What's true now for you? What's working? What are you happy about? What are you good at? What's the way that you want it to be, the way you like it? What isn't the way that you like it? And we started from there because actually 2 reasons. One being, when we were clear what the truth was in the moment, we understood our starting point. And the thing about going anywhere is we need to know our starting point. There's that joke about the person who's driving through Ireland and stops somebody and says, which is the way to Dublin? And the person who they were talking to said, well, I wouldn't start from here. The trouble is, wherever we want to go, we can only start from here. Here is the only place we can start from. And if we don't know where here is, we're stuck. We don't know whether to go north, south, east, or west. So that was one reason why we always started with truth. The other reason we started with truth is because there's a magical, powerful, exciting shift that happens when we invest in truth, when we invest in understanding what's true for us now, telling the truth to ourselves about it, possibly telling the truth to other people about it, although that's not required really necessarily to begin with. But going through that process is incredibly liberating, empowering, healing perhaps. So truth is always the place to begin. So wherever you are in your life, if you're wishing for a shift or a change, or if you're just bored, my recommendation is to start with truth. What is true for you now in as many respects as you can think of? And what do you feel about that? So this is not the same as saying, in what way do you want things to be different? Or what is it that you want instead of what you have now? This is about putting that to one side and saying, no, what is true now? So, for example, to take the example of being overweight, which is something I think most of us have experienced that at one point or another. Many of us have. It's easy to focus on, I'm overweight. That's wrong. I don't want to be overweight. I want to be something different. But if instead we took this position of looking for truth, what is true? Okay, it could be, I have impeccable posture. It could be, I have beautiful hair. It could be, my digestive system is working really, really well. It could be, I have fabulous breasts. It could be, my bum looks great in jeans. It could be, I've got extraordinary stamina. It could be, I'm a great cook. There's so many things which are true now, which could be great, regardless of the fact there's something we'd like to change. But you can probably see that if you start by looking at what's true, you get a much fuller picture, and you also put yourself into a much more grounded, aligned place. You stop fighting with yourself, basically, and you go into alignment with yourself. You are a friend to yourself when you're acknowledging what's true. And you also know what your starting point is. So it's easier to know what to do next. So that's why truth is the first word in the name of this podcast, truth and transcendence. And you'll notice with the vast majority of my guests, maybe all of them, in the conversation, they are telling truth about themselves and about their lives. And they are telling stories about moments where they told the truth to themselves and something shifted. So this is a very powerful, fundamental human dynamic. When we tell the truth, we create the space and the opportunity and the energy for shifts and expansions. So thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Have a fantastic, truthful week, and I'll see you next time.